What's up, YouTube? This is your boy crillah, and I'm back with another video. I've been MIA for a little bit, so we made it all the way to the the finals. The Pelicans is not a team I did not expect at all. I actually expected them to make it only past the Mavericks, and that was it. Look at what they had to go through. They would have had to go through either the Warriors or the Grizzlies. Those are hard teams. They would have to go through the Spurs or the Rockets. the Kings and the Kings and Lakers are not. We're not tough teams yet. We just don't have the firepower. We're good users, but we just don't have the firepower. So he wouldn't have had that much of a difficulty. So yeah, I'm done trashing my own team and the Lakers. So moving on, we had the 76ers. They definitely had a tough. Had some tough teams as well. They had to go through the Heat, which is probably one of the best users in the East. They luckily didn't have to get to play the Pistons. I think the Pistons would have been a definite tough team to go against because Andre Drummond was there. And a lockdown defender in Avery Bradley, and they had to get through the Wizards. Great user. He left though, unfortunately, but we have a new one. So we'll see how he does in the second season. So my predictions of this, because this will be a 7-game series, my prediction of the series will be 4-2. The Pelicans will win in 6 games, 4-2. Just because Boogie averages like 35 points in the postseason, and he averages like 17 rebounds and like two blocks and damn near 2 steals. I think that's just unheard of. And Joel Embiid will not have an answer for him. If he does, that's cool. But then they have Anthony Davis, and then they have Drew Holiday, and then they have Luke Kennard, and then they have Justice Winslow, who's a good defender. They have all those guys. Ben Simmons is a liability when it comes to shooting. It's just driving in the paint. And Justice Winslow, I'm assuming, will have that responsibility of guarding him. But that's it for the predictions. There's only 2 games, 2 teams playing. This is not the end of the video though. The main parts of the video is the other stuff. So I'm gonna go into 2 different segments. The first segment will be what the admin actually asked all of us, which was what we can do to improve this the next season. And if anybody has any ideas, they could definitely leave it in the comment section, or you could definitely hit me up on Twitter. Everything is in the description below. I'm just gonna pull up the stats so y'all can look at them. Not just gonna sit here looking at that. But so my one of the things I expect. And the other segment will be the free agents things. I'm just gonna explain that a little bit. So what I think should go down for the next season should be 3 things: trades, sliders, and games played. So I'm gonna start with the trades. Trades, I believe certain things should just be. I think certain trades should just be declined a little bit more. I think it should be a little bit more strict with the trades. That's just my opinion. Other people won't agree. Other people will agree. It's just to a little. It was a little bit too many trades. Like I had no clue. Certain players had were on certain teams now. Like I just didn't even expect it. That could definitely be, countered by, well, we'll just announce it. But I also thought that certain trades were just happening a little bit too much. Even though we were given a cap on how many trades, like 3 trades per season, I still think that the trades was happening a little too easy. I think they should dive into like the value of each player on certain trades. Like if I trade, like if Boogie was traded to my team for Enes Kanter and like Buddy Hield, and say the Pelicans user would accept that. Not that he would, because I doubt it. He's not. I don't think he's stupid. But say he did accept that, it probably would have been accepted by the trade committee most likely. Trades are just happening a little bit too easy in my opinion, and the reason why I don't think it should be accepted by the trade committee, that trade that I just gave, Cousins for Enes Kanter and Buddy Hield. Yes, you get somebody that can shoot threes. Boogie can shoot threes. Yes, you got somebody that's a good offensive player in the post. Boogie's a good offensive player in the post. But then you're missing 2 things. Boogie is a good 3-point shooter. He's decent. So you don't need Buddy Hield for that. Then Boogie is a way better offensive player in the paint and mid-range than Enes Kanter. So Enes Kanter's already knocked off the books. Also because Boogie's a way better defender than Enes Kanter. Enes Kanter sucks at defense. And he's a klutz. He loses the ball too much. Boogie is not like that. So, and he's not... Enes Kanter's not grabbing, that many damn rebounds. So you know, the value of that, like DeMarcus Cousins' value, like if anyone plays offline leagues, they'll know when you do a trade, you'll see the stars of the trade value. Boogie is definitely like a 5-star, while the other guys are just like a 3, and that's not worth it. So other than the salary cap working, they should definitely enforce like, oh well, they're not valuable enough for that team. Um, in terms of value, like how it will look, you know. And the reason why I do that is because to make it more realistic. So I think that should be enforced. Other than that, I think the next thing I'm gonna go into is sliders. And sliders, I think only certain things should be dived into. So things such as, I'm gonna look at it right now, like 3-point success. That should not be up there like that. I like the pass accuracy. That's actually pretty good. Dunking traffic success should not be up there that damn easily, as well as frequency. Those two things happen a little bit too much, and I think if that was brought down a little bit, I think the animations could go down. I mean, they could always experiment. They could definitely make like make a scrimmage league, and which I know somebody's already done. You can make a scrimmage league and play with this sliders, as well as you could do it in this league. But you could play around with it. I think this should go down. Success should go down. 3-point success. I think teams just hit 3-pointers way too much at random times too. Like my hand will be right in their face, and you know it's going in because it'll look like a rainbow shot, and they make it like it's nothing, a swish and everything. So I think that should go down. You know, other things could be altered a little bit too. Inside shot success can go down to like maybe 45. You know, ball security is cool. Driving contact shot frequency, stuff like that, because guys will just fly right through your player when you're playing defense, and it makes it damn near impossible, because if you want to commit and hold RT or double team, one person's going to get open, or they can do the snatch back and then hit an easy jumper. Stuff like that is just it's fake to me. Like it's not the user's fault, it's just the game's fault, and it's not fair to me, to be honest. The rebounding can stay as it is, and that's about it. Maybe some of this stuff, but that's about it, just to make the game a little bit more realistic. I think like the animations take over this game a little too much, so I think the sliders, what it does is pretty much try to minimize the effects of animations. Like I know when I played the Rockets in the playoffs, Aaron Gordon, when he drove in just for like 2 seconds, like 2 steps of driving in with turbo, he automatically will dunk on somebody, no matter what you do. It doesn't matter who you're on. Like, you better be the king of timing stuff. But regardless, he dunks on everybody. The animation does that. So it's impossible to stop it, If you foul him, he still makes it. So stuff like that should be changed. I'm just not a fan of that. I'm moving on to the last thing. I'm not even going to get into the free agent stuff. That'll go into the next video. But the last thing is the games played. I think the minimum that we had for season 1 was 30 games played. And after that, you get the incentives. Like 40 games, you'll get a badge upgrade, stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. So I think the game minimum should still be 30, but I also think the game maximum should just be 30. There was no max before, so you was able to play 50 games like the Mavericks. He played 50 games. I think the max should be 30. Now that doesn't mean that you can't play more than 30 games. I just think that I'm just saying, like, as you play your games, whatever happens in the outcome, you post it, like you put it down in your name in the group me, because you could change your nickname. Just add your record so everybody can know your record and know how many games you played. So when you do that, you'll have everybody, the admins will be able to have an idea. Okay, they hit their 30 games, that's their record. So for example, I went 18-12, that's it. That's my record from now on. It doesn't matter what I do after that. The only thing I do after them 30 games is literally giving me some camp points, and also like other incentives such as badge upgrades and stuff. That's the only thing that should be affecting me when it comes to and yeah, that's the only thing that should be affecting me when it comes to playing more than 30. But other than that, my record stays 18-12, even if I played 50 games. And the reason why is because if everybody gets their 30 games in, everybody, like the admins, will have an easier time of deciding who's what seed in the playoffs, and also the draft picks. it was a little difficult this season. You know, the Mavericks went 5-45 and they got the first overall pick. The Bulls went 0-18. They got like the 6th overall pick. The reason why they didn't get the first overall is because they didn't get 30 games played. Had they played their 30 games in, they probably wouldn't have won that much more, because that was just a bad team, a bad situation that the Bulls users got. He has a bad team. Like, he would have most likely gotten the first pick. I got a higher pick than him. I got the 4th pick, and I won like 16 games or something like that. So I think if you can't get those 30 games in without a good reason, you're out of here. And it's not that much. 30 games. It's really not that hard. We do like 5 or 6 weeks for the regular season. You could definitely get those games in. If not, like I said, like I understood the first season because the holiday season is really hard. People go on vacation. People go out. You know, people do, you know, spend time with their family, so that's understandable. But the second season, you should be able to get 30 games in. Like I said, if you get, also, the stats should be recorded. Like, so take your little picture. So when you hit your 30 games, take a little picture, you know, post it in the chat. It'll be in the gallery, you know, so everybody can see the stats for, so you can record who's going to be MVP of the season based on those 30 games. After that, nothing should affect anything. Like, the stats are going to be changed obviously if you play more than 30 games, because the players are going to play, obviously. That means points are going to be scored more, but that should not affect anything else but incentives. It should not affect who's going to be MVP, who's going to be 6th man of the year, because if you play a lot of games, you get more chances of increasing your players' points per game. Say people actually just have time for 30 games, that's fine. You know, that should just be recorded. So if everybody played 30 games and Andre Drummond averaged 17 rebounds and Hassan Whiteside averaged like 16 rebounds, but say the Pistons don't play anymore, excuse the firefighters, I live in New York City, so it's mad loud. Say Hassan Whiteside averaged like 16.4 rebounds and Andre Drummond averaged like 17, and say the Pistons didn't want to play no more, but Hassan Whiteside, say the Heat user plays way more, plays like 15 more games, and Hassan Whiteside just grabs 20 in like most of those games, he's gonna have more of that. And say also blocks and steals. So Andre Drummond's a sure chance of winning Defensive Player of the Year, but because Hassan Whiteside has better, because the Heat played way more games, it appears like that Hassan Whiteside played better because he got way more defensive stats. He got his defensive stats up by playing way more games, while the minimum and maximum games were already played. So in other words, after your 30 games, nothing else is recorded besides your incentives. So you played your 50 games, congrats, you get some incentives. You played your 40 games, congrats, you get a badge upgrade. But other than that, your stats should not be affected by nothing after your 30 games. So that's basically it in a nutshell. And that's about it. Those are my that's my predictions of the playoffs. I'm gonna show y'all this again, and that's my ideas for the next season. If, like I said, if y'all have any ideas that I missed on or any suggestions that I should post in the chat, definitely leave in the comment section. I'll check it out, or I'll talk about it with you before I put it in the chat, see what you mean by it. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to keep track of the of this league, because it's gonna be going on until the next 2K, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Also hit that bell if you want to be notified when the videos come out. Definitely going to be more videos coming out more frequently. I just had to take a break for a second. And yeah, if you dislike the video, hit the dislike button and leave a comment on why you did. And that's about it I have for y'all. Until next time, I'll see y'all. Peace.